Hi everyone, how you doing? Miss Chanelle here, and I'm here to give you guys a particular set of secrets. And I know this is deep in 2024 exam season, and a lot of you are preparing for 2024, but there are some people who are actually preparing for 2025 and already here. And those of you who are already looking at 2025, I absolutely commend you because that means you're already on your way to ensuring that you have a more successful exam period. So, because I've been getting this question on how to prepare for exams, because again, I understand that a lot of people are doing self-study or a lot of people are actually looking at strategies that are going to help, right? I thought I would come on and take a look at this information. What am I doing wrong? Am I doing something wrong? No, I'm not doing anything wrong. I thought I'd come on and give you this information because it is information that will help you be a lot more prepared for next year. Now, I would always say that the exam season of your previous year is a really ideal time to prepare, right? That's my stance across the board. If you're in the exam season before, you're really in an ideal time. So, for example, we are in the middle of the 2024 exam period. It is an excellent time to be preparing for May, June next year, or even January next year. I had somebody who's writing in Jan message me. So, whether you are a private candidate or whether you are a school candidate, now is a great time to get more serious. Because let's be real, you've been preparing, especially if you're a school candidate, you have been preparing for exams from Form 1. All right. A lot of your topics, a lot of the basic topics like maths and English, they start in Form 1. Spanish, which I also teach, that starts in Form 1. But when you get to the new subjects that you may be doing, some of those science subjects, and actually overall in thinking, it only feels real ish by the time you finish your first year of, sorry, your first year as your upper form, meaning your your fourth form. That's when it starts to begin real for a lot of people. There are some private candidates who've been out here a while and they realize, hey, I need to put some work in. They start preparing from now. I actually had a private candidate who reached out to me. And yes, now is it's a perfect time. You have a year again before exams. So a year, or if it is your writing in Jan, you actually have a little over 6 months. So you can begin now. So whether you're school or a private candidate, the thing is you actually have time to focus and review your work and learn and actually ask questions, whether you're in lessons, whether you're searching online looking for information, whether you have somebody who's reliable to get feedback from, you have that time. All right. You also give yourself the opportunity to set a moderate pace. Let me tell you, a lot of the students who started studying this year for this year, I'm telling you out, guys, if you are here, they're going crazy, right? And they're going really crazy because they're not able to go at a moderate pace. Reality is that many schools, many administrations, the organization is such that SBAs become due the last month just before exams while you have mocks. Then you got mock exams. Then you've got this, you've got that, you've got lessons, you've got so many things going on. How do you actually effectively prepare with moderate stress and a moderate pace? So especially if you guys have a busy schedule and you're going to write in 2025, if you're a private candidate and working, if you're a school candidate and you've got however many subjects, however many activities, when you start focusing from now, you've already benefited from, as a school candidate, you've benefited from having a year of understanding what a CSEC curriculum looks like. And then you have a better idea of how you are performing in exams. Even without doing your third term end of term test, you have a better idea. And really, what it means is that you are now poised, whether you're a school candidate or a private candidate, you are poised to make changes and make corrections. Maybe you need to make adjustments in your schedule. Maybe you need to make adjustments in um activities. That's almost the same thing. I'm so sorry. Maybe you definitely need to make adjustments in your study habits and your study patterns. All right. You need to figure out what to do. I'll just give you an example from my life. When I did maths for CSEC, I did not have a good maths teacher past Form 1. In fact, when I used to open my paper, I would check how many questions I couldn't answer, check the marks, and then do the ones that I could answer because I knew more than 50% of the paper I couldn't do. And then when I got closer to exam, I told my mother, I said, hey, I can't do this again. My teacher is not teaching me. And then I went for lessons, right? Because I was so bad in maths. I couldn't do lessons. I had to do lessons in maths. But subjects like biology and history, which I also had issues with for various reasons, I didn't need lessons. I just needed to come up with a better study plan. All right. So you take at this point in time, you need to know, do I need lessons? Or do I just need to sit down and read the book? Right? Or do I need to practice? Or do I need to find past papers and get actual information? Like I have a student now, he is a private candidate, he's a mature candidate, and he has been asking a lot of questions about the paper because he didn't get a chance to really have a regular school life when he was younger, and he was a bit uncertain about what to do for the exam. Super uncertain. So because he was uncertain about what to do for the exam when he wrote previously, he had a lot of errors. Now that he's working with me as one of my learners, he realized, oh, I was doing this wrong. So now that he can correct himself, he it's better for him, right? So again, it depends on your situation, right? If you're in school, I have a student, she's doing Cape Comms. I know I said Cape, all right? But because she's repeating, um, we were wondering, do you need to do paper ones with me, right? But because she knows herself. So that's what I'm trying to say. You, at this point in time, have an idea of where you are at. And if you're not sure about where you are at, you need to maybe speak with parents, maybe you need to speak to classmates, find your lessons teacher, find someone who can help you understand, hey, realistically, if you were to mark me, where am I? A one, two, or three? And CXC's mark scheme is not. Listen, I guesstimate with CXC. Nobody knows how CXC comes up with the one, two, or three. I normally look at the profiles. So students who repeat and they come to me, they know I don't ask what's your grade. I ask what are your profiles, right? What are your profiles? So I know I am able to judge profiles. So that's what I do. You want to find out, am I doing good in the papers? And what paper am I doing well in? Which questions am I doing well in? And now is a great time to understand that so that when you begin your preparations, you go ahead, right? A lot of you are doing your work on your own. Absolutely commendable. Do it. I did it myself. You can do work on your own. It is not impossible, all right? What you want to do is make sure you understand the rubric and understand what's required for each question in each paper. That's super important. Once you can do that, you're going to have an easier time in terms of preparing your work. If you find I'm looking away, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just making sure I'm following my notes, okay? I'm trying to make sure I follow my notes because I don't want to ramble, okay? Okay. So what I would share with you is my process. All the information I share on this channel is freemium content, and I call it freemium content because this is the same information I give my paying students. It's the exact same information I give them, right? So I know there are DIY students out there. Hi, Christiana. I know there are DIY students out there. When I say DIY, a lot of you are doing it on your own because it just works for you. If it works for you, it works for you. Like I said, I did the same thing for my bio and my history. I will share with you. No, laptop, don't die. Don't die. Don't die. I will share with you how I do it for my students. So the students that are coming in with me, they're gonna come in June, right? And we are going to work with them for 6 months. So this is something that can work for January students, and this is something that can work for May, June students. You want forget July, August vacation. That's what I'm trying to tell you all to. Forget that. Forget July, August vacation. Do not think, I am so stressed. I need to relax, Lord. No, 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 no. There is no July, August vacation. What you need to do is figure out how to work in July, August. I'm not saying don't rest and charge. What I'm saying is, I want you to hijack that time, use it to your advantage, so that because there's no school for most of you. There's no school if you're a student candidate. You don't have school. Private candidates, if you're working, you have a little more, you have the same issues you have now, so you might as well start now. But because you don't have school as a student candidate, you do not have to, uh, you can play with your time a bit more. Maybe you have lessons. Lessons is not school, okay? You have more time. So you can start working through the syllabus, start looking at the questions. I like to do a question a month, right? So I'm actually going to start with, what am I starting? For English, I'm starting with comprehension, fictional, non-fictional, maybe poetry, and I'm doing grammar. And for Spanish, it's about the same thing. Grammar, comprehension. That's what we're doing. And we're going to start with that. So you pick your question, you go through it, and by the time you hit December, I recommend you take a nice little small break, Christmas weekend. But December, you get to kind of readjust yourself and prepare for next year. What do you want to do for next year? When January hits, okay, so let me let me deal with May, June, 1st, January, people, okay? So if you're a May, June student, what you want to do from January is just past papers, right? I am not teaching in January. Unless it's a one-on-one student, I'm not teaching it. I've stopped because it doesn't make sense to me anymore. What I do is past papers. And that's what I recommend you do if you want to prepare for next year. Fine, you're working on questions this year and you're doing it in a very structured, categorical way. But when that January hits, past papers, and you can take your time. I actually have videos on my channel on the best ways to do past papers and create your own schedule. I have 3 methods. There are some of you guys who are, what's the word? What's the word? Um, I don't want to say tortoise and the hare because the hare gets stuff done. There's some of you guys who think in terms of my life is so hard. So for those of you who are like, my life is so hard, right? I have a slower pace, right? For those of you who are like, bring it, because I am getting those grades. I have a faster pace and I also have a medium pace. So you can figure out how to do it on your own. That's Jan. And from Jan all the way down, bam, just practice. I don't even care if you redo a paper, practice. The only thing I'd really recommend is that you get reliable feedback. And I had a live on this channel just the other day talking about a student who did not get good feedback from her teacher. Crazy, because 14 out of 25 can never be good. I can't mark anybody with 14 out of 25 and write good anywhere. You get a smiley face in my love notes. I make a lovely little fat smiley face. It's gorgeous. And then if I don't like it, you see my screwed up face because you did not do so well, okay? That's just reality. I have to let you know if you don't do well. Please understand that you cannot grow if you do not do well. So if anybody's here and coming in my classes, I'm not mean, but I will let you know, hey, this is not how you start an argumentative. You have to start an argumentative with an introductory paragraph. There's supposed to be 5 paragraphs, and where's your thesis statement? And I will tell you that, and I will mark you accordingly. I do not give pity marks. I'm so sorry. Pity parties don't help anybody. So if you're looking for pity parties, I am not the person for you. All right. So that's what you want to do if you're writing May, June next year. If you're writing January, oh boy, you have a little more pace. So January people, you definitely do not have a July, August. Don't lie. I had a student who was gonna write. I'm saying this for those of you who are working and have a life. Forgive me. You know what I mean. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but if you're working and you're busy and you've got other things, other considerations, family and stuff like that, you still have to carve out that study time and treat it like it's golden. My current learner is working and his issue, he was like, hey miss, should we do more hours together? Now understand, more hours means I get paid more, right? I said no. I said what you actually need is more time on your end because he has not been submitting. He's submitting work now because exams is in less than a month, but he really was a bit overwhelmed with his personal schedule. So you have to get really defensive about your time, okay? All right, January people, because most of you all are probably working. So if you're writing in January, definitely start as soon as possible, right? Even if you just start June, like I would start, it is definitely possible because it's a very focused, you do a focused thing, all right? And I'll do a video on how I normally build my stuff, right? Um, you don't have Christmas, right? May, June students, they could pause a little bit. Yeah, they might have to do work, but if it is you are writing in January, you really cannot count Christmas because especially if you're doing some subject like English, that paper is often right after the New Year's holiday. So all the fetting, all the liming, all the partying, minimize it. Lime for Carnival. If you're into Carnival, celebrate then. But before, cut it right as small as you can get it because you really want to focus for the exams. What you would have to do, even if you're doing a categorical approach, like I would normally do, is you would probably have to do way more past papers. So you would have to do you just have I would recommend focusing on past papers as soon as possible. I mean, I always do past paper, actual past paper questions anyway, but you may want to do even more on your own. It's really going to be important for you to do that work so that by the time December hits, I know December in Trinidad, you know what? December in the Caribbean on the whole, it's crazy because I've, this is what? This is going to be my 8th year of teaching. Every December, I hear, Miss, I'm sending the child. And then I get a call in December, Miss, I had something come up, Miss, family, Miss, this. So December is a very, very hard month to do work. I normally only do work in December now for Jan students. May, June, you are on a break. I see you guys in Jan. But for January writers, you really have to go hard in January, right? I say give yourself that Christmas weekend if there's a weekend. Give yourself Christmas Day, give yourself Boxing Day. Actually, give yourself Christmas Eve, give yourself Christmas Day. There is no Boxing Day for you. Boxing Day is to do work, right? Give yourself New Year's Day. All years into New Year's, one of the two, pick one. But you have to really be focused. And whether you're writing Jan or whether you're writing May, June, something that a lot of students do not have is that focus and that concentration because it's a very lonely thing. It's very lonely. You can be in a full class with a bunch of students, right? And maybe you're the only serious one, or everybody else says they're serious, but they're only, you know, talk, but you're not really do. So what happens is that it's a very lonely road. You just have to embrace the loneliness for a brief period of time, and you just have to run with it, and you have to just put in the work. Put in the work smart. Don't think you need to spend somebody took a day off of work to do work for me. No, you do not have to take a day off from work every single time. You just need to find minimal time. I'll share this. I normally tell students that when you're doing work, especially for these subjects, and oh, by the way, I teach English for CSEC and Spanish. Okay, I was just going to yell at the internet because I'm back on. Very good. So this is just a study plan. So it's just for you to run with it. Just run with it, right? But for my students who are doing CSEC Spanish, CSEC English, and I'll be doing Cape Coms in May, next term because Lord Jesus, I'm hearing too many horror stories. So I'm going to be back there. But what you do is you look at a recommended time for a question and you prepare for it. That's all you do. Recommended time and you prepare for it. So once you look at the recommended time, you know what to do. So most of the times that's not more than an hour a day. It really isn't. I give yourself an hour a day and you can prepare yourself. All right. So those are the general pieces of information because my laptop died. So my notes were on my laptop. So hopefully I covered everything. If you are looking for classes, I am starting in June officially. I think when I have a sign up, I'm gonna ask if someone is Jan or May June, because what happens with Jan is that sometimes Jan people are already know their writing. You already know your writing, or you don't know your writing until after results comes out this year. Apologies in advance if that's one of you. And then sometimes some people actually get way more serious after they fail. That's horrific to say, I know, but I do know a lot of students who've gotten way more serious after not doing so well in the exam. I know it's not nice, but it's really reality. And those students, wow, they are absolutely awesome, awesome, awesome. But anyway, I am actually starting in June, and my process is I actually, like I say, I understand everybody's got different schedule, different time. That's time schedules, different goals, different energy output. So I normally do a membership where you come to class, but you don't have to give me feedback. You don't have to give me assignments. It's my look. You don't have to give me assignments, but you get all my material. You get all my assignments. You do it on your own. You practice. Boom, you're good, right? And that's starting in June. And I have a special where I'm doing June and July for. It's you're getting 2 months the price of one, basically. That's my special, right? If you sign up this month. But you have that tier, and then you have those who want feedback and can give feedback. And the reason I say that is because some students are so busy. Like some school, listen, private candidates who working don't be like how they busy. No, they are super busy. So most students are doing 8 subjects. Then you got lessons. Then you got homework. Then you got homework from school. Then you got homework from lessons. Then you've got extracurricular activities. Then you got work for the extracurricular activities. Then you actually have to rest. They are crazy busy. So there are some school candidates who they don't even have time to do homework. I'm not wondering if you don't have time to do homework. I am not. I'm not here to traumatize anybody. No way. No way. But if you have the time and the energy, and honestly, most private candidates, I recommend you guys. No, let me not say like that. If especially you've been out of it for a while, like you wrote like 5 years ago, I'd probably recommend you get feedback, right? But that's normally going to be a small class. Sometimes we'll do extra work every 2 weeks. I think that's my schedule. And my top learners will be one-on-ones. That's a whole different range. And that's, I'm not taking many persons like that. But the point is, you guys can start now, right? You can start now. In fact, bear with me, if you are mature enough and you're in Form 4 right now, aka you're writing in 2026, same process, make it longer. You can stretch yourself out. You could repeat the process, right? I love you guys. Make it easier for you, because to me, subjects like English are not supposed to stress anybody out. All you're doing for a subject like English is learning how to write in context and according to different styles, but in English. There's no way that that is supposed to stress anybody out. Like, literally, it's not supposed to stress anybody out. So, it's not supposed to stress anybody out. That's the point. Okay. So, the more that you practice it, the better you get at it, right? Languages are skills. Okay, so that is all the information that I have. If you have any more questions, if you have any more questions, feel free to message me. I will link my contact details below. You might see my WhatsApp number on this channel in the community, but also you can message me on Instagram or Facebook. It's CS being success CS being success. I can't even say success because I've got a title. All right, so Any questions, you can always message me. If you have questions on the subjects, if you're in 2025 or if you were in 2024 and you're here, you can message me because I'm looking to make as much freemium content for students in the Caribbean as possible because a lot of students just don't have basic information. It boggles my mind every year, and I'm kind of, it's sad. It's pretty sad. You go to school, you don't get some really basic information that's in the syllabus, which I know the syllabus is very boring to read, or you're a private candidate and you're out of the loop. Private candidates, you all know you're out of the loop. Bad, real bad. All right, so that is it, guys. Y'all have a good life. Have a good life. Enjoy your life and plan for your challenges well so that you will do well in any of your endeavors. So, as always, this message is sent in success and love. Take care. Bye.